All right, my name is Kurt Van Zyl. I've been collecting pinball machines since I was 12 years old. I was in the bowling business for 11 years, and then a few years ago I started my own business buying, selling, and repairing pinball machines. Now we've jumped into a whole new territory of operating them on location at the Pinball Lounge. And we're opening up this Saturday. It's going to be really exciting.
We really wanted to go with a pinball theme. I wanted this room to just scream pinball. That being said, there's not very many games that came out that were about pinball. Usually pinball machines are about some subject. You know, some of the ones that we've got here in the room, some of them are about Indiana Jones. You see a lot of licensed games. You know, we've got Bobby Orr Power Play, that's about the Chicago Blackhawks. But not too many games are about pinball itself. But this game, the mural that I'm standing in front of, is based on a game called Silver Ball Mania. Came out in the 70s, and the whole game is about pinball. And I just thought it would be a good segue, it would basically just say that this room is all about pinball. And then we went with some of the interesting lighting in the room to kind of go with some of the different lights that you see on the playfield of the games and kind of make it fun, kind of a fun atmosphere to come hang out.
First of all, Ed and I were at one of the pinball shows afterward talking about how it'd be cool to have our own place with a bunch of pinball machines in it. And then a couple of weeks later, I was talking to the manager here at Oviedo Bowling Center, and he said, "Hey Kurt, why don't you put a pinball machine in the lounge?" And I said, "Well, hey, no one really goes in the lounge. I don't think we'll make a lot of money." He said, "But if we put a whole bunch of pinball machines in there and make it a destination for pinball, people will show up."
We've got games from all different eras, which make it kind of interesting. We've got old electromechanical games, which is how pinball kind of started out. It actually started out, you know, in electromechanical fashion, you know, with the score reels and things like that, all the mechanisms, and you can hear the whirring in the motors and things like that. And then you get into some of the more early electronic games. You know, they have chimes inside of them and things. Those were, you know, that's kind of another era back in the late 70s. Then you go into the early 80s, you start getting into the multi-play fields, multi-ball, some of the ramps start to appear. And then you get into the 90s where that was another one of the golden ages of pinball, where you get into the really heavy into the ramps and heavy into the deep rule sets of some of the games. And then on upwards into the 2000s, where you've got the newer Stern games like Lord of the Rings and you know, Avengers and some of those newer games that have come out.
We've got a lot of A-title machines here. We've got Addam's Family, we've got Indiana Jones, Funhouse, Lord of the Rings. We've got some great classics that you haven't seen in a while. 8-Ball Deluxe, Centaur, Captain Fantastic, Fireball, all these great machines that people remember playing and that people still play today and are highly sought after. So this will be a great opportunity for folks who don't have the space for a machine, or maybe don't want to pony up the money for one, to come and play one in public, or even maybe they've been playing on their iPhone or whatever with the Pinball Arcade app, and now they can come play the real machine here. It's a great opportunity for everyone.
I like the whole wow factor. I like the fact that people are going to come in and they're going to see something that they haven't seen before. They're going to be able to do something that they can't do, or that's very difficult to do. You think about pinball, as much as they've tried to virtualize it, you really can't. It's a physical game. In order to play pinball, you have to go play a pinball machine. You can't, I mean, I can sit home with my Xbox or try to play it on my iPhone. It just doesn't translate well. But when you grab a hold of the sides of the game, and you've got your hands on the flippers, and you pop the quarter in there, and you pull the plunger, you're in control. You're in control of what's going on, to a point. It's something that I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Steve Kordick. Actually, Steve Kordick was the gentleman that decided, he's an old pinball guy, he decided where the flippers were to go. So it's a very important, you know, thing in pinball. Is, hey, I think that the flippers should belong here, so that the user or the player actually has a fighting chance to be able to control that ball. But he says, if you lose the ball, you've done something wrong, which I found very interesting, because if you think about it, the game doesn't start itself. You start the game, you initiate the game. So you're in control of it. It's not easy to control, but you're in control of it.